Hello, thank you for staying on the Joy News channel. We are interrupting regular programming to bring you a live news conference from the NDC's headquarters. Its General Secretary, Johnson Asiedu Nketiah, is speaking now.
They stand uncontested in Greater Accra. And I'm surprised, for the first time, Almighty Odododio, the sitting MP is going unopposed. And then Ablekumanov, there to unopposed. In Volta Region, we have only one constituency as at now where the MP is going unopposed, and that is Agotime Ziope. In Ashanti Region, New Edubiase is going unopposed. Ahafuano North unopposed. Ahafuano South unopposed. Asante Achim North unopposed, and then Offenso South unopposed. In Bono East, we have Techimai North going unopposed, and Nkransan South also going unopposed. Western North, that is the Sevi area, you have Bia East going unopposed, Bodi going unopposed, and Jaboso also going unopposed. In Northeast, you have Nalerigo Gambaga going unopposed. But we happen to have the constituency with the highest number of contestants also coming from Northeast. I believe that is Bunkrugu. Bunkrugu constituency. And then Western Region, Efia is going unopposed, Wasa East unopposed, Pristia Huni Valley unopposed. Then in Savannah, you have Yape Kusogu unopposed. That is the Almighty JJ. And then Bole Bamboy unopposed. And then Sola Tuna Kalba unopposed. Upper East Region, Bulsa South unopposed. Boko Central unopposed. Central Region, you have Upper Denchira East unopposed, Cape Coast North unopposed, Mfansiman unopposed. Eastern Region, Abuakwa North unopposed. Northern Region, Tamale South unopposed. That is the constituency of the great minority leader. And then Yendi unopposed, and then Karaga unopposed. Upper West, you have Nandom unopposed, Dafiama Buse Isa unopposed. Bono Region, you have Brekum East unopposed, Jamai South unopposed, Jamai North unopposed, and Banda unopposed. Now, we have the actual state of our preparation. But before I get to that one, I want to also share with you the operational guidelines. That is, what is the regulations that will govern the processes through the election, the polling, including what happens at the polling station theater till declaration of results and so on. We've provided extensively for all those. Already notices of polls have been issued. And so our electoral college, and when we say electoral college, it means the list of delegates. There is not going to be an event where we will bring all the delegates at a venue and put a ballot box in the center and be calling them to vote. No. We are adopting the same procedure we adopted for the presidential primaries. And that is the procedure adopted during regular elections. So we are opening the polling stations at 7 a.m. and then we will close polls at 5 p.m. And so we don't expect to see anybody mobilizing persons to go to any venue. Agents will be allowed for the contesting candidates. And then the Ghana Police Service will be deployed to provide security for the elections. So we expect the delegates to move to the polling stations, cast their votes, and leave the rest of the processes to the agents of the candidates. And so the people who are qualified to vote have been compiled into a list. If your name is not in the list, please don't go there and try to vote. And those who are eligible to vote are as follows. Branch Executive Committee members, both elected and co-opted. You know, we have the basic unit of the party, that is the branch. And the branch area is coterminous with the polling station area. So at every branch, we have a 9-member branch executive. So they constitute the bulk of our delegates. And then to the branch executives, we add the constituency executive committee members, both elected and co-opted. There too, the elected and co-opted, it's roughly 28 constituency executive committee members. Then you have members of the regional executive committee, both elected and co-opted, who are members of a branch in the constituency. You understand? Yes. Good. If I am a regional chairman and the elections are not going to take place at the regional level, so on Saturday, I walk to where my branch is. If my branch is in Thai constituency, I'll just go and join the Thai constituency delegates and then go to the designated polling station and cast my vote. At that point, you are a delegate. Then, every member of the National Executive Committee who is a member of a branch in the constituency, like me, if I'm going to vote, I'll go to Nkramai Secondary School polling station in Sekwa, in Thai constituency. And then I'll go and cast my vote because I'll not be allowed to vote at headquarters here or anywhere in Greater Accra. Then, former ministers and former deputy ministers who are members of the party and who are members of a branch in the constituency. So if you are a former minister or deputy minister, where your branch is, you go and vote there. Because we don't vote at the presidency. And then former metropolitan, municipal, and district chief executives who are members of the party. We always emphasize members of the party because these are appointees of the president. So the fact that you have been appointed by the president does not give you membership of NDC. You have to take steps to go and register as a member of NDC. So you can't go to argue that because you were once upon a time appointed a minister, then you are automatic member of the party. Or you were appointed a district chief executive, then you are automatic member of the party. No. You must take action to register as a member at your branch and continue paying your dues and undertaking your membership obligations. That is the only criteria of making you a member of the party, and for which reason you can cast your vote in the elections of the party. Then former members of the Council of State who are members of the party and are members of the branch in that constituency. Former presidential staffers who are members of the party and who are members of a branch in that constituency. When we talk about former presidential staffers, of course, current presidential staffers are not qualified to vote because they will be in MPP. So, and current ministers are not allowed to vote. So, when we say presidential staffers, it does not include hangers-on at the presidency. There is a definition of who a presidential staffer is. And according to law, the president, when he's in office, presents a list of presidential staffers to Parliament. So it is from that list that we can draw the distinction between who a legitimate presidential staffer is and who a hanger-on is. So if you are not a presidential staffer so designated by the law, you are not entitled to participate in the elections. Then members of the Council of Elders at the national and regional levels, they are all entitled to vote. And former ambassadors, so this Council of Elders members, they will go to their respective branches and constituencies to vote. So I'm sure Saturday you expect to follow our founding father to his polling station to cast his vote. Then former ambassadors and high commissioners who are members of the party, they will also go to vote in the constituencies where they maintain their membership. Now, NEC accredited delegates lists as provided under A above shall be made available to aspirants. So already I'm sure the aspirants will have that list. And only eligible voters captured in the delegates list shall be entitled to vote. Now, when you go there and you say, I am a member of the party, you go and meet electoral officers there who may not be members of the party. So how are you going to be identified? That is the next step. The primary source of identification is the National Voter ID card. In the absence of the voter ID card, we have a national ID card of any nature, because what we are looking at is to match your face with your identity, your picture and other things, to be able to say that when you say you are Otokuno, we can see your beard in the picture. You see? So every means of genuine means of identifying yourself is the focus of the exercise there. So it is in your interest to be able to identify yourself to the satisfaction of the people there, because the people you are going to meet there there may be electoral commission staff who may or may not know you. So take that responsibility very seriously so that when you go there, you are able to discharge it, and then you'll be allowed to cast a vote. If all these things fail, I mean, you don't have a voter ID card or other cards, we accept the party ID card, but we also maintain the register, the branch registers at the polling station. So if you bring the card, we will check against your name in the register, your picture in the register, and your picture on your card. And then we will get somebody also from your branch, if it's available, to also testify and so on. I mean, we will do everything to make sure that there will be no impersonation at all. So that will be the purpose of the exercise at the polling stations. Ballot papers have already been printed under the supervision of the National Electoral Committee. So nobody can print fake ballot papers in the constituencies and so on. So that one has been done and has been sealed, and I'll brief you where they are, the ballot papers are later. Now, the Electoral Commission shall supervise the conduct of the parliamentary primaries elections, assisted by the Electoral Committee of our party. The elections shall be conducted under the rules and regulations as established by the Electoral Commission. So we are conducting the elections according to the laws that have been established for the conduct of elections in this country, unless where specifically stated. All the other laws of elections will apply. So the center will be open at 7 a.m. and will close at 5 p.m. Election results shall be declared at the polling centers after counting. We won't carry any boxes anywhere. After the close of polls, in the presence of agents and those who want to observe, the counting will be done, and then the results will be declared and announced right at the polling station there. So every constituency will know their candidate by the close of polls and after doing the counting. So every aspirant will be entitled to 2 polling agents at every polling point. When we say polling point, it may or may not be different from the polling station. Because where the numbers are large, the commission may decide to open 2 polling points or 3 polling points at the same polling station. So you will be entitled to agents at each of the decks so that they can observe whatever is happening. And no voter shall be allowed to take pictures of the ballot he or she has thumb-printed before casting same. This is very important for us. No voter should be allowed to take pictures of the ballots they have thumb-printed. We know the reason why, but we are not telling you. No voter shall be, all branch registers are to be assembled at the voting centers for purposes of verifying the particulars of voters where there are doubts about identity. All persons who have their names on the delegate list are entitled to vote. For the avoidance of doubt, any persons whose name is not on the delegates register cannot vote. So if you go there and create problems for the electoral staff because your name is not there, then the electoral laws of the country will be applied to deal with you. If you have any problem, you can go and report to the electoral committee or the regional officer designated to supervise the election at the polling station. Don't go and create problems for the electoral staff, because they are not NDC people. They are performing their professional duties of conducting a free and fair elections on behalf of the party. At all material times, the representatives of the contestants shall be involved in discussions at both the regional and constituency levels, where there may be unanticipated problems. When such problems arise, and we are looking for solutions, the solutions must be all-inclusive. It must involve the representatives of all the contestants. Now, Constituency Executive Committee shall be responsible for all logistics for the election, which we have dispatched already. All constituency executive members are obliged to provide information about party logistical support to aspirants, agents, and electoral college members. So if the delegates don't understand anything relating to whatever provisions the party has made in terms of transportation or anything, the constituency executive should be prepared to answer the questions in a very humble and peaceful manner. But we can also say that such persons, if they are not satisfied, can call the electoral committee in Accra, and then they may get the answers. Because the party has provided for transportation of delegates to their respective voting points. The Electoral Commission is responsible for bringing the branch registers to the voting center. The register based upon which the election will be conducted will be handed to the Electoral Commission, and they will bring it and bring the, ballot papers and all the other materials, ink and others, to the center. So nobody should attempt to print any papers and try to force Electoral Commission to accept them for use at the polling station. Now, there shall be no canvassing of votes within 500 meters from any voting center. If you are 500 meters within a voting center, it is prohibited for you to be canvassing for votes. No pictures or effigy of parliamentary aspirants shall be allowed, again, within 500 meters of the voting center. So don't approach the voting center in the T-shirt of your favored aspirants. If you go there, you will be denied the right to vote, and the police will walk you out. If you are coming, choose any other ordinary shirt. And no agent shall be allowed to carry mobile phone to the booth. If you are a party agent, please keep your phones away. We don't want you to have the opportunity of taking pictures of the way somebody is voting and so on, and circulating it on WhatsApp. At the same time, no voter will be allowed to carry a mobile phone to the polling booth. Aspirants shall not be accompanied by more than 3 supporters when visiting the polling station. When you are going there, maximum 3 supporters can follow you. You have the right to come and see what is happening at the polling station and so on. But if you are coming and more than 3 people follow you, you will be denied access to the place. So make sure that only maximum of 3 people follow you to the place. And then there shall be no drumming and dancing or any form of noise making at a distance of about 500 meters from the voting center. There are some who walk as you can't know the difference between their walking style and dancing. So try and make sure that you don't dance, you don't play music. Some candidates can mount music systems which will be playing their music to the hearing of people who are going to vote. We are saying that 500 meters is more than close to half a kilometer from the polling center. So if the town is not big, then you mean that the whole town you can play. Yes. Now, in case of runoff, because our laws allow for first clear winner, first past the post. If you are 2, then 1 will get 50% and above. If you are more than 2, then the one with the highest number of votes will be declared the winner. So in the event of a candidate not obtaining the required votes of simple majority, there will be a runoff as provided for under Article 41 of the party's constitution. So at the close of poll, if we open and count, and then there is a tie at the top. In fact, those who tie at the bottom, we don't care about them because you are all rushing to be last. But those who tie at the top, that's where we will have to rerun the election at a future date so a clear winner can emerge. Our regulations permitted the use of proxies, but we indicated that the proxies ought to be submitted 14 clear days before the election. And these proxies must be verified and authenticated. We had several applications for proxies. Unfortunately, only one proxy passed through the stringent process of authentication. And that applicant comes from Asiedu Nketiah. So all the other applications for proxy have been declared invalid. All other applications, apart from this one from Asiedu Nketiah, throughout the country, they have all been declared invalid because of one problem here or the other. In some cases, you have all the proxies coming from the constituency completed in the same handwriting, the handwriting of one person. I mean, so obviously you could see that something is wrong with that. In other cases, the proxies are dated, the same day. So in that particular constituency, everybody decided that today is the day we are writing the letter for proxy. And in other cases, you have proxies that have no way of authenticating or identifying the applicant. This applicant, Emmanuel Kwashi, has provided a scanned copy of his voter ID card. Feely. The numbers, everything is there. Then apart from that, he has also provided his NDC card and then his picture. So he says, I want another person to vote for me because I will not be available. You can check from the picture. You can check from his voter ID card and other things, and there is no doubt that he's the person he claims to be. So we therefore can allow him the luxury of nominating another person to vote for him. All the others, for one reason or the other, could not meet that mark. Now, so it is the law provided that we should attach the list of successful proxies to the voters' register. So the Electoral Commission people would have come to the polling station with the voters' register with the list of proxies annexed. Fortunately or unfortunately, it's only one proxy. So it will be attached to the delegate list for Afajato South. In all the other lists that will go to the various centers, there will be no proxy list attached. Okay. I hear that is very, very clear. I hope that is very, very clear now. Now, our actual state of preparation as we sit here, we have finished printing our ballot papers, and then they are in the process of deployment. Some have already left for the various regions. Others are being dispatched. So those of you who pass through our library, you see that work is going on there and the dispatch is taking place. We have informed the Ghana Police Service about the event, and they will be deploying their men in the various districts to provide security for us in the districts. Because this is a constituency event, so the officers from the districts will then be alerted to deal with it. And all the other accoutrements will be deployed at the constituency level there. Then the final registered will be delivered to the Electoral Commission today, stamped and sealed. And then statement of polls have already gone. Then declaration of results sheets, they are all to be provided by the commission, for which we have made the necessary arrangements. And then, so that's about it. So I took my time to go very, very slowly so that you can follow. If you have any issue arising, you may seek clarification, and then if you are capable of giving that clarification, you will give it. But for the avoidance of doubt, the 5 constituencies where the exercise has been put on hold are constituencies where there are issues that are in the process of being resolved by our conflict resolution committee. And because they have not delivered any verdict, it will be prejudicial for us to proceed with elections in those constituencies. And that is why we have put them on hold. Since we wrote the letter last night to this morning, there have been several imputations of motives some holy, some very unholy, to the reason why we have put those constituencies on hold. But it is natural that a place like Asawasi, for instance, everybody knows there is an issue there to be resolved. All stakeholders have been invited by the Do-Ajahu committee. They are still in the process of finding other information, so they will conclude their work and then give us the green light as to what next step we should do. I'm told that when the letter went, it was like some people are jubilating. Didn't we say we'll be able to put the election on hold? So the fact that an election has been put on hold waiting adjudication constitutes victory for some people who are jubilating. I don't understand. You see, I don't understand. The issue we are confronted with is about the qualification or otherwise of a particular contestant in Asawasi West, in Asawasi constituency. The matter is being investigated. If a conclusion is reached by the committee that that candidate is not disqualified, then the sitting MP goes unopposed. On the other hand, if the verdict is that the candidate is qualified, then we prepare to go and conduct elections. So whether you are for the candidate or you are for the sitting MP, I don't see how this constitutes the reason for you to jubilate or to begin insulting your regional leadership. You know. So that is the truth. But we are not going to be bullied or rushed or stampeded into any action. We want to take a decision which can stand according to the laws of the party, which we have all sworn to uphold. So that is that. So we have a similar case in Mpoho. We have a case in Yellow Krobo. We have an issue in Fantiakwa North. We have another issue in Elembele. So that is the reason why these constituencies are not going to conduct any elections on Saturday. Soon after we resolve these problems, and I can imagine that it's going to be very soon after the Saturday elections, we will announce the outcome and the consequential steps that we will be taking to make sure that the processes of selecting a candidate are followed in these constituencies. Thank you very much.